How many years is it now in hospitality?
30. If anyone's hearing this, they're probably like, what the heck? The HR team were breading the chicken. The finance director was doing the fries. And they said, Will, get on the till.
Flying in ice blocks to the Bahamas, leasing private jets and hiding 40 pallets of pumpkins.
Yeah. It was complete chaos. We had ordered the wine, but there was 2 hurricanes kind of swiveling around. The boats couldn't come in.
Hide a private jet?
Yeah, and they used the seatbelts. They put like 4 or 5 cases like on each seat, and they lined the aisles with more wine. And that's actually how I became a food and beverage manager, because my boss just said, well, I'm fired. Even though we couldn't typically afford it, let's bring in like a ice box. And so they used the air miles, and they somehow managed to get a military plane with one of these like doors that goes like that, and this wave of water just went.
You cut costs by £300,000, you reduced labor by 10%, through kind of the world of tech. I can't imagine everyone kind of loved that.
Oddly enough, I think it was very seamless, like a glove.
You've talked about how AI moves into more and more areas. Tell me about the best use case that you've seen so far.
Why? There's like numerous examples, especially in the UK.
William Connors, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Am I right in saying you worked at Popeyes? Was that right?
Yes.
Was that for the UK or for the US?
UK
based. And was that the initial opening of it?
Yes.
Well?
I was with them for the first 20 restaurants and dark kitchens. And the first restaurant opening was in Stratford.
In Stratford, right? Okay, yeah, interesting. And I think is there a story about the way that it was set up? Like, was it your first day? HR were bread in kitchen, you were on the tills or something.
Yes.
What on earth was that like?
Popeyes is a very fantastic brand, and when it was first opened, nobody realized how popular it would be. So I think the first 3 or 4 days that it opened, there was like a 3 or 4 hour line just to get the food, and then another hour once you order the food to get the food. And lo and behold, the 20 or so staff that was trained to start, after the complete madness of the Saturday and Sunday, they all quit.
Was it carnage?
Absolute carnage. And literally, when you stand in line for 3.5 hours to get your food, and then you wait another hour, you get people yelling. But also too, when you're paid like £12 an hour or £13 an hour, you just want a job where you have a bit of fun and you do your thing and go home. And if you get people screaming at you and saying, why are you so slow and stuff, then it's just very stressful. So I don't really know the whole story of what happened, but when I showed up on the Monday, there was the HR team were breading the chicken. The finance director was doing the fries, and they said, Will, get on the till like that. And I'm like, yeah, sure, like that. And it was...
Well, the best person to be on a till, right, is someone that knows a till inside and out, I guess.
Well, actually, I really enjoyed it because I was like, yeah, this is cool, and got to kind of, deal with the customers. And a lot of people were stressing out, like there was fights going on in the back and all this stuff. And but I was just like, happy that I'm in front of the customers and saying, yes, how can I take your order? And but it was complete chaos. There was, and I think it's fair to say that the chief of operations was manning the crowds and stuff, so it was like that for at least a solid week, and then they managed to rehire new staff, and then everything kind of slowly became normal again.
How do you recover from that? How do they manage to do it? And look at them now, right? They've done so well for themselves in the UK, expanded rapidly. What kind of fundamentals were there?
From day one till 6 months in, they kept changing their processes bit by bit. So by 6 months in, like originally when we started, we said, okay, yeah, we're going to bump it from the screen and a ticket's going to pop out. And then after the first week, we said, no, we're going to bump it from the front of the restaurant, and it'll basically bump everything off the screen. So, it's a process, and slowly but surely you make things faster, more efficient. You deal with your staffing, You just need perseverance and some good, knowledgeable people in the background.
Did they replicate kind of the processes and like the technology solutions over from the US then, or was it something like completely different?
I wouldn't say it's different. What it is, you have the same recipes, but the thing is the cook times are different, and the requirements are different because it's different health codes and stuff, and also too sometimes the tech stack's different. So when Popeyes in the States had their tech stack, I think they were using Aloha or like a bespoke point of sale system catered to Popeyes.
Yeah.
Whereas over here, they said, no, we're not going to copy the US. We're going to do it our way. So basically, yeah, it was pretty much different, but the same standards overall.
Yeah, and in fair enough, probably proven them wrong, right? If the way that they've done it in the UK has worked as well as it has, then maybe it shows the US maybe a trick or two.
The UK are very capable people, and yeah, I mean, it's always different. And the thing is I think time and time again, it's been proven that you can't just copy paste one solution in another country and just think that it's going to have the same result.
Yeah. Did you use Meta Workplace?
Yes.
Back in the day. When did you use that?
It was funny. The same group with Popeyes. It's called Ring Holdings. I think it's been sold off or something since then. But at the same time, we were managing 120 Burger Kings in Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. And so I would log on in the morning, and so I'd see all the different restaurants with all the different managers. And the thing is I felt much closer to the Burger King people than I did the Popeyes people because, it's very collaborative. So like, right. I don't know these people face to face. Some of them I did eventually. But the thing is it was just great. It was like literally being in a room full of people and stuff. So you see, restaurant 120 is having problems with their kiosk today. And before I would even be able to answer and do troubleshooting and stuff, there'd be like another person pop up and say, did you do this? Did you check the breaker in the fuse box? Did you like that? And I haven't even said anything yet. I'm just like, wow. Who is this person from Restaurant 85 that's coming up with these great, helpful things? But you have these nice conversations, and also, too, you click on who the manager is, and it's like a lady holding her dogs. So when you do speak with, it's like, oh, how's the dogs?
Yeah.
I mean, there's other systems where basically it's just very top down, where it's like, something said like here's the staff party, everyone was smiling, plus here to show that you've read it and stuff, and you go away on vacation, you come back, you've got 85 messages that you have to be like, yes I read it, and you're like, that is not conducive to a good restaurant culture. So I think the collaborative nature and the ability to kind of express yourself within a wider group, and you can have little subgroups. I think the Burger King setup was fantastic.
Do you remember a situation where good comms actually saved the day or solved kind of a major issue?
Oh, well, yeah, almost on a daily basis. Like, when you get a call to IT, like somebody says, oh, my kiosks are down, and it's like, okay, so you start in your head going through a whole list of troubleshooting steps. And then if somebody can jump in and says, I know what the problem is, it's the same problem that you had 3 weeks ago. It's this. And you have coworkers from other restaurants jumping in and saying, I know what to do, I can help you out. And it's a great way of identifying who your best managers are as well, because there's certain managers that constantly step up and share with everyone else. So when you have a collaborative solution like Workspace by Meta, but also like All Gravy, then you can see the benefits over and over again.
Amazing. The world's largest study on employee experience from Gallup directly links engaged employees with higher profits. Now, we know that scaling fast often kills engagement and culture. Do you remember a time where growth kind of got ahead of those values? And what did that look like kind of on the ground as well?
Why there's like numerous examples, especially in the UK. I mean, the people that are listening right now can probably think of at least three like big chains that jump out at you. I mean, Jamie's Italian was a little bit like that, but what it is there's different plateaus that you have to break through. So if you're like five restaurants, usually the founders or the owners are very much invested. You know everybody in the company by name, and even in the kitchen, they're trained to such an extent that like with Oaxaca, Thomasina Myers is in the kitchen working shoulder to shoulder with people. So like. They're ultra knowledgeable of the product, the values, and just what the business goals are. Now, then you jump to 15, then you jump to 20, then you jump to 50. And the thing is when you do this, it's almost making a copy of a copy of a copy. Yeah. And all of a sudden, instead of having Gennaro Contaldo or Thomasina Myers for Oaxaca and stuff, you've got like the people that worked alongside them for like about 3 months or something like that. Or if you expand at the rate that Jamie's Italian did, all of a sudden you've got like the person that spent 3 months with the person that spent with 3 months like that. So the values get like kind of watered down, and also to the knowledge and the stock product as well, because I shouldn't go off on Jamie's Italian too much, but the thing is when they first opened, they had lemons the size of footballs, they were just massive. And the thing is when you go from like 5 to 50, all of a sudden, you don't have the like quantity of that produce from London or from Italy in London. And so basically it's a perfect storm of problems. And I think it's something that people have to be mindful of, that when you do scale up, you need to be able to like change your ways. So before it's like a shoulder to shoulder training, you need to put in place like a platform, an environment where the training's there, the culture is there, the communication is there, and then it's successful. But not every brand is able to do so.
Who has done it?
Like really good examples. I mean, Oaxaca is a successful example, but they're like, they've kind of reached their kind of soft spot. I mean, then you've got, of course, all the other bigger brands. But the thing is the challenges are different. Like if you have a very complicated menu, bigger brands have a Dishoom is probably like at a comfortable spot right now. But the thing is if you take a Dishoom and then you multiply it by like 50 or 100, you don't have the staff that's capable of producing food of the same quality, and you don't have servers that have the same culture. So that's it. I mean, it's very hard to take something that is very complicated and special and replicate it, because you run into all these constraints further on.
Your time at Noble Group, yeah. So you cut costs by £300,000, reduce labor by 10%, through kind of the world of tech. I can't imagine everyone kind of loved that from their side.
Oddly enough, I think it was very seamless, like a glove. Just to clarify, the 300,000 was in the credit card savings, and the labor savings. What had happened was front of house. You've got like your top servers. What they did was, before, everyone was standing up. The till was just very inefficient. Like you'd write everything down on a piece of paper. You'd run to the till. You'd wait for the till to become available, and then you'd put it in, and then you'd get a payment. You get another device, and you're running back and forth. And so we actually put in a product called Toast, where you can take the order, take the payment, and do everything that you could at a till right at the table side. So what happened was we turned around and said, you're able to handle 7 tables. You want to try another 8 tables, grow it to like 9 tables. So the server just says, hey, more business.
Yeah.
But in the background, the manager is saying, okay, fine, that's one less person on the floor, which means I can cut my labor costs by 10%. So, I mean, the efficiency worked like a glove. And the staff were absolutely happy because now they're getting tips for 8 tables instead of 6 tables. Right. So they were happy, the managers were happy, everyone was happy. I have to say that it was a fantastic fit all around. The one person that got cut was somebody that was very junior, and they probably just joined. So they said, okay, fine, you can go work in the kitchen or do something else. So there wasn't any negative feelings that I'm aware of.
Fine. When did you introduce Toast then? What year was that?
I guess 2023.
2023, because they've just come onto the market, haven't they? The UK market. They were all very much US focused, yes. Right?
Yeah, it's a feature-rich system that came in, I think, 2022, and the Noble Group gave them a lot of attention just because they said we want new technology that's cloud-based, feature-rich. So usually, the UK market was kind of seen as a saturated market, but then when Toast came in with all these features, and they've even grown their platform now with kiosks and lots of different things like that. For them, they just came in and just took over a large part of the business because it's a good product, no question.
Yeah. Chipotle's AI bot, the Avocado, very clever, has increased completion rates of applications from 50% to over 85%, and cut the time it takes from application to first day on the job from 12 to just 4 days. You've talked about how AI moves into more and more areas of hospitality HR. Tell me about the best use case that you've seen so far.
Well, HR alone, one of the things that's quite nice is it will constantly go back to you and say, how do you feel about that training? How do you feel about your day? How do you feel about the manager? Now, the thing is you'd like to have an HR team where you could have a one-to-one relationship. But the thing is that just is not realistic. Yeah. And again, also too, people are trying to find ways to save money. So the thing is, though, when you get this constant feedback, the AI interface is actually very human-like, and sometimes it's easier to speak to a machine, I have to say. So I've seen it myself where it's how do you feel about your manager today? How do you feel about the training? How do you feel about your work-life balance? And the thing is when you're on your phone, and more and more people are kind of more honest with their tech than they are with other humans, because you have this personality and element and stuff where it's I'm struggling at work. I've got a new child, all these different things. And all that's fed back. And it's okay, you've had feedback from 1,000 employees this week, and 90% are fine. 5% are a little bit in the red zone. So just concentrate on the 5%. And so all of a sudden you've got less turnover. You've got a more motivated workforce. And the thing is, too, if you have a happy workforce, it increases sales. So, that's what you're trying to shoot for.
How do you think companies should tackle things like short cycle turnover? Obviously, that is quite a big kind of pain point and costly part of the bottom line for the restaurant operators. How do you think people should tackle it?
Well, I mean, tech will never replace people, but the thing is if you have people using tech, that will always be stronger in the end. So you need to have the values in place. You need to have like strong people in the background guiding the tech. But the thing is you can have tech for a very low cost that will actually put your team kind of on steroids and make them twice as powerful with limited positions available. So if anyone right now is trying to find a way to lower their HR costs, man, go for the tech. There's some fantastic tech out there.
And I suppose you've gone through every wave, of restaurant tech. If you were to coin and place the most significant milestones in the last 20 years, how would you do it besides AI?
When I was a food and beverage manager in like the late 90s, like digital point of sale started popping up, before it was cash registers and running up thing. And that was kind of the kicker to all of a sudden start this journey of automation. All of a sudden, then you've got the kitchen screens coming in, and then further in, you've got all of a sudden the delivery and the integrated feedback and the integrated marketing and the loyalty. So, I mean, it's been a very exciting journey from literally what seems now to be like Stone Age, but now you can have a fully integrated, solution with vouchers and integrated credit cards and stuff. I don't think that people realize how far we've come in such a short time.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was speaking to a pub operator a couple of years ago, and 20 years from then, they were using payroll clerks. Quite literally, people doing payroll themselves when there were plenty of tech solutions out there to just process payroll quite, from an automation perspective. And it's just, even like the last 7 years, I'd say it from like the world of onboarding now, digitizing onboarding where you've got your bank account details, health questionnaire. 7 years ago, that was like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely amazing, because everyone was filling it out with pen and paper. And now people are looking for something even more exciting for that. And it's almost as like a standard in a way.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking just a while ago how as a manager, I used to spend hours and hours and days trying to create the rota that would make everybody happy. And of course it never worked because, everyone's like, I only work Tuesdays, I only work weekends and stuff, all these different things. And now all these systems, you stick in what everybody wants, you stick in like how everybody is qualified, and that you want to have a nice balance. And all of a sudden, within a few minutes, it just comes out and says, based on AI and the tech, everything fits. All you have to do is just review it and approve it. And it's like, oh, this took me 10 minutes. Like, well, so that's fantastic.
And besides AI, have you seen other movements that might influence hospitality kind of in big ways in the next kind of few years?
Well, I mean, the key thing now is that you have fewer people doing a lot more. So you have to make sure that they're happy. And also, when you have customers, they're not going out as much, but when they go out, they're expecting a whole lot more. So those are two things which are key motivators. But also, you've got products out there that is able to forecast how many people you're going to need, like 3 days out, 6 days out, 2 weeks out, and it takes into account tube strikes and what it was like last Valentine's Day and all these things. So if you're using the tech, all of a sudden you've got more automation that gives you better answers. And also before you needed somebody that was 10 years on the job. Now more and more you'll find someone that has 2 years on the job, but they're supported with all this tech, so they can kind of do the same job as somebody that's been in the same restaurant for 10 years.
How many years is it now in hospitality?
30.
30 years. You've worn pretty much every hat in hospitality, ultimately landing in IT and, and tech roles. But tell me a moment where tech couldn't solve a people problem. How did you handle it?
tech will never replace people. You need to have the human heart in the background dealing with other humans, troubles. Like if somebody's having a tough day, if somebody is, their mother died, or all these different things, you can't just plug it into like Chat GPT and say, tell me what to say to the person. You have to go to the person, listen, and give the person a hug and stuff. And that happens on a daily basis. The tech is there. The tech is a good tool, but the tool isn't going to do everything by itself.
Yeah, to almost empower people in hospitality. It's the only tech pet peeve that I have: QR code paying bills on the table. I'm like, I want that, that people experience. People coming to me, people saying, how was your food? Having that conversation. What are your kind of thoughts on that?
I agree 100%, but I think people don't realize, it's not an either or.
Yeah.
I sometimes look at the kiosks when I go to Tesco, when I go shopping every weekend and stuff. When those were put in, my wife and I both said, I hate these things, like that. Like I want to speak with the person. I liked it when there was 20 cashiers. But the thing is that time is gone now. And all of a sudden you're forced in a position where you're scanning it yourself. And then if you have a super helpful person that bounces from person to person like that, saying, are you okay? Like that, it's not perfect, but it's much more acceptable. And it's the same thing with payment at table. There's a super good product. There's lots of good products out there. I mean, there's StoreKit, there's QuickServe, there's but the thing is if you have the human interaction, you have the ability to time your meal and pay when you want. You can look at your allergens. There's a lot more information than the typical server has. That's a bonus. And if you don't want to use the tech, then just basically deal with a human. But you can't just say we have a tech solution. We don't have any servers anymore, and then that's where things break down, because you can't just do a tick box. You have to keep the customer focus going and with humans, and provide options for people that don't want the tech.
Yeah, you're not wrong about Tesco. My local Tesco has moved from 4 self-service checkouts to 6, and it is an absolute game changer. Everyone in the whole place absolutely loves it, and it's an absolute winner for everyone around the area.
Yeah, it's a very good, I think, analogy of the restaurant business, because when you have when everything goes down, then everyone starts criticizing it 100%. But the thing is if you have the staff, if you have the training in place, then everyone's like, hey, this isn't so bad at all. For the kiosks, I'm a lot faster than the way it was before, so I can like super tick, 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 tick. So for me, it's faster. I'm perfectly fine with it.
Flying in ice blocks to the Bahamas, leasing private jets, and hiding 40 pallets of pumpkins.
Yeah.
Pick one of these stories and tell me what happened, and is there any hospitality lessons hidden there?
If anyone's hearing this, they're probably like, what the heck is he saying? But I have a lot of big stories from working in the Caribbean. And what happens is a lot of the different places that I worked at, I was on an island, and I accidentally ordered 40 pallets of pumpkins instead of pieces, and then this then we had to hide the pumpkins, because that was one thing. But the same company, what happened was there was a new CEO of Club Med who came in, and so they wanted to impress him at every place. So all of a sudden it's like, oh, even though we couldn't typically afford it. Let's bring in like a ice box. And so, yeah, there's certain things that happen, which I'm like, I don't know how they did that, but they, when they flew all of the employees all across the world, like they would get air miles. So they used the air miles, and they somehow managed to get a military plane with one of these like doors that goes like that, and inside of it was 30 ice blocks. Each one was about 2 meters high and about half a meter thick, like massive blocks. And the whole thing is we were going to do sculptures. And so I saw it, but then I said, okay, put it in the freezer. And so I went to bed. And then I woke up the next morning, and they said, oh, yeah, we decided we'll just do it this morning. And I was kind of like, I don't like the sound of that. So lo and behold, because it's the tropics, like that. So the thing went back down, and this wave of water just went like that.
No.
And all of a sudden, out of all the blocks, there was like 3 or 4 tiny little, like essentially ice cubes, like squibbled to my feet, and said, okay, well, this is going to be our ice box, like that. The same location, this is an island in the Bahamas. I was actually an assistant food and beverage. And what happened was we usually had a stock of like 1,200 cases of wine, and I said we need to order more wine because it was down to like 600. And the guy I was working for said, no, we don't need that stock like that. He just went it down to 200 and 100 and stuff. And the thing is went down to 0 because we had ordered the wine, but there was 2 hurricanes kind of swiveling around. The boats couldn't come in. So they said, what are we going to do? And we can't not serve wine to guests because they pay for it. Yeah. And there would be a revolt. So that's actually how I became a food and beverage manager, because my boss just said, well, I'm fired, like that. And he just grabbed his bag and he left like that. And so the GM said, you're next unless you come up with an idea. So what I did was I went through the bar stock and I said, well, these wines actually have the same cost, more or less, of the wine that we have. So I started raiding the bar fridge to put into the kitchen fridge. And I called my boss in Miami saying, we need wine right away, like that. And lo and behold, they rented a Learjet, and I showed up, and it's kind of like these private jets that would go like
I had a private jet.
Yeah, and they used the seatbelts. They put like 4 or 5 cases like on each seat, and they lined the aisles with more wine, and that's how we managed to make do until the boats actually finally came in. And I think probably the cost of the bottle of wine to get there was probably like 3 times the normal amount when you factor in the travel, but that's what you need. Like, I think that is probably pertinent in the fact that you want to have efficiencies and stuff like that, but you can't do it to the point where your customer service is going to be affected. So the thing is you plan and you put in your par levels, and then you stick to it, because not everything goes to plan.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Radisson Hotel Group, Burger King, Popeyes, Wingstop, Noble. Which operator did you see and you were like, yeah, this is the smoothest operator that I've worked with?
I mean, all of them in their own way. When you're doing QSR, like quick service restaurants, it's literally like a well-oiled machine in the background. When you're doing table service, you have so many other things that are factored into it, like the reservations and the starters, mains, desserts, the coursing and stuff. So I have to say with Oaxaca at South Bank, it's just like clockwork, and you just see everybody's like hands moving like light speed, but it's also a source of pride because they're all staring at the screens and stuff like that. Like that's another big difference from when we started this journey with Radisson and the Caribbean and stuff. Like people would just yell and scream back and forth, say, "I need this," and like now it's like everybody's focused on what they have to do. I suppose in all honesty, one of the biggest things that I was most proud of was we had a restaurant called Burrito Mama, like that was kind of like an offshoot of Oaxaca.
Where was that? Where was
That
it?
one new change. The
Oh.
building is still there. Like
Right.
it's just funny. I was there the other day, and I said, "God, they haven't filled the place yet." Eh? And what it is the head of food just basically did a napkin and said, "How can we make this work?" And so all of a sudden, we set it up like him and I, and made it. And we managed to make a burrito every like 58 seconds. I think like they timed
Wow.
it because it's such a thrill to see. An engine that you kind of built or at least put together in action. You just see everyone like that, and the payments, that's where we use quick serve and fast, and you just see all these happy people. And at the time they gave out like 1 pound burritos or free burritos just to test the system, and I said, yeah, God, I'm in my element. I'm really happy with working with the team and the tech in the background. So it was a good experience.
How important is speed? You mentioned 58 seconds done. How important is it for an operator, especially in kind of QSR?
Well, I mean, for QSR, speed is everything. I
And catch
mean,
it up.
because you're pumping out product. That's the thing. But I mean, there's actually other types of businesses where they're like, how do we slow things down? With Oaxaca, they were saying, how do we entice a second drink? How do we entice a dessert? So they don't want people to sit down and jam it in their mouth and go. I mean, if that's what they really like, if that's what the customer wants, they can accommodate that. But the thing is different people have different things because, you want to kind of enjoy everything at your own pace and, instead of focusing on table turns, you can focus on average spend per head.
Yeah, I agree. I did some work with Fulham Shore, Francomanca, Real Greek, and they put something in a process in where from when the customer enters the door, they need to have a drink within 3 minutes in their hand, because that will then they had the data to then it would drive potential upsells and that second drink whilst having that pizza. And I thought that was like really interesting. If there's one way to drive revenue, it is from inputting those kind of processes and embedding that culture in where we want to make sure that people have a drink within 3 minutes. I think it was quite cool.
Yeah, I mean, people might assume that all the restaurants are the same, and it's like, heck no. They're, different people have different values and processes that they want to put in place because they want to make sure the guests have a fantastic time. But how to do that, it just sounds like a nice benchmark on how can we make sure that the guest is settled, has a drink, and relaxed at the table. So I bet you it's not a unique goal, but it's not going to be the same across the board.
But Will, thank you so much for joining us in the It's All Gravy podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. And I do think that All Gravy is a game-changing product because, it helps unite restaurant teams in so many ways.